What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. And on today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 red flags in modern women you need to be on the lookout for. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join us. And to my returning friends like Timothy Wright, salute. Now, when you're in a new relationship or even been in one for a while, there's certain red flags you need to be on the lookout for. And there's some that are truly specific to modern women. Some of these red flags we're going to talk about are universal and have been true for many years, but most of the ones we're going to talk about are specific for today's modern women. Things you definitely need to be on the lookout for. So without further delay, let's hop right into it. Now, first up on the list of modern women red flags that might indicate she isn't for you, this is a huge one. If she has a huge reliance on social media validation. Does she need Instagram likes? The thing is, when anybody has heavy reliance on outside validation, that's a huge indicator of insecurity, especially when it's social media. I mean, these are complete strangers. Yes, we all do seek outside validation, but it should only have weight when it's friends, family, people you know, co-workers. Even then, inside or validation from yourself is much more important. Here's another thing. If she feels the need to pose provocatively on social media, run the other way. Let's be honest, as men, we are territorial. If she's gonna share those intimate poses with the rest of the world, what's left for you? She have the right to do it? Sure. She can just do it on her own. If the woman you're dealing with has a heavy reliance on validation from social media, she might not be for you. Now, next up is a characteristic that definitely should give you pause in a modern woman. If you hear her saying, "I'm a strong, independent woman," this is not a good sign. Here's why. For men and women, when you're in a relationship, you're interdependent. You actually do need and depend on each other. 1 + 1 = 3 in a relationship. If she's so hell-bent on being strong and independent and I don't need a man, what does she need a relationship for? What a lot of modern women don't understand, independence is not a positive trait in a relationship. That doesn't mean you should be codependent on each other. You should be interdependent. You need her, she needs you. You make each other stronger. You make each other better. If she feels like she needs to be this strong, independent woman, that's cool, her prerogative, but let her do it by herself. This is not a trait that's conducive to a good relationship. It's a red flag in modern women. Now I want to take a little time to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Roman. Roman is a digital health clinic for men. It's an online platform where you can be evaluated for, diagnosed for, and receive treatment for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your very own home. Now, there's a lot of men out there who suffer from ED, and they often do so in silence and find it very difficult to talk about. If this sounds anything like you, I highly suggest you talk to my good friends over at Roman. When you go to Roman for help with your erectile dysfunction, they connect you directly with a licensed U.S. healthcare professional. This healthcare professional will work directly with you to come up with a treatment plan specifically for your ED. And it's very easy to get started with Roman. All you have to do is go to getroman.com/style and fill out an online evaluation. Only after completing an online evaluation with a licensed healthcare professional, and if approved, Roman can send directly to your door FDA-approved effective medication to treat your ED. Now, I know a lot of guys out there who suffer with ED think they're alone, but they're definitely not. 52% of men at one point in time in their life will experience some form of erectile dysfunction. Now, not only did Roman sponsor today's video, they've got a special offer for the Style O.G family. All you have to do is go to getroman.com/style. And after completing your online visit, and if you gain a prescription, you'll get $15 off and free shipping for your first month's treatment for ED. If you're someone who's been suffering in silence with erectile dysfunction, you don't have to. It used to be difficult to talk about ED. Not anymore. Now, there's Roman. Now, next up is a red flag that's very common with modern women, at least the modern women you should want to stay away from. Does she want traditional rights without traditional responsibilities? Here's what I mean. A lot of modern women, they want you to be chivalrous, they want you to be a provider, a protector, to pay everything, do the things that traditional men usually do. And as a traditional man, I don't have any problem with that. But is she going to give you traditional treatment? Is she gonna be a nurturer? Is she gonna follow you? Yes, if you're doing all the traditional male responsibilities, is she gonna cook? Is she gonna clean? Is she gonna be supportive? Is she gonna be encouraging? Because here's the thing, a lot of modern women, they love the benefits of traditional relationships, but not the responsibilities. It doesn't work like that. If you're willing to step up the plate and to be a traditional man, provide, protect, pay bills, be chivalrous, she should do her part in return. You do not want a woman who wants traditional rights, but no traditional responsibilities. Now, next up is one of my pet peeves that I often see in modern women. It's the lack of accountability. Here's the thing, with a lot of modern women, everything is somebody else's fault, especially men. Men in general, men specifically. It's never her fault, or better yet, it's never women's fault. It's oftentimes they support everything women do. That's not fair. Yes, we mess up sometimes, but so do they. And as an individual man, or men in general, we have to take accountability. But on the other hand, so do women. If you have a woman who believes it's never her fault, or more importantly, it's always men's fault, women are just these perfect angels, you don't want her in your life. I strongly suggest, my brother, you head for the hills. Which piggybacks very nicely to the modern women red flag you might want to pay attention to that might make you realize she isn't for you. Does she have a general, overall bad opinion of men? If she comes into the relationship with all this baggage, thinking men aren't good, how do you think she's gonna look at you the moment you make a mistake? She's gonna lump you in with all these men she believes ain't SHIT. Have we all had bad experiences with the opposite sex? Of course we have, but you can't generalize about a whole gender. If she has the ability to say, you know what, that was that guy, that doesn't mean you're gonna treat me that way, that's cool. You don't want to invalidate any bad experiences she's had with other men. She can't just blame the whole male race for it. You want to deal with a woman who has an overall positive opinion of men. If she thinks men ain't, you know what? You might want to think about her not being the right one for you. Now, the next point you want to pay attention to is very important in all relationships. It might be a red flag if she has poor conflict resolution skills. Here's the thing, no matter what woman you're with, you're not always gonna get along. But when these conflicts arise, how does she handle them? Is she able to handle conflict in a respectful way? Can she tell you what she feels like you're wrong without demeaning you, without putting you down as a person? Should she have the ability to disagree without arguing? There's a difference. When you argue, there's a bunch of emotion. There's anger. A person who approaches conflict argumentatively is not looking to listen. They're looking to be right. When you have a woman that's good at conflict resolution, she cares about understanding, not being right. Because face it, you're not perfect, she's not perfect. There's gonna be times when you guys have conflict. But if she has difficulty resolving conflict in a respectful way, might be an indicator she isn't for you. Now, something you definitely want to pay attention to in women in general, but modern women specifically, in your relationship, does she have a problem with reciprocity? Here's what I mean. Think about earlier when we talked about a woman who wants traditional rights without the responsibilities. Does she expect you to bend over backwards for her, but she makes the minimal effort? That's a huge problem. Relationships should be a give and take. You shouldn't feel taken advantage of. As a man, you should give your all in relationships. But I don't believe in 50-50 relationships. I don't believe in 60-40. I believe in 100-100, meaning you give your full effort and she gives her full effort. If she only looks for you to do for her, that's a huge problem. Relationships have give and take. There should be reciprocity. If you're in a relationship with a woman where it's all gimme, 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 what she can get from you, pay attention to that. You should give and receive. You're both there to make each other better, to make each other's lives better. If there's no reciprocity, that's a bad sign. Now, next up is a red flag that's important no matter what time you live in, modern times or any time. It might be a huge red flag if you guys don't share values. Now, here's where it's a situation where it doesn't make her bad, you good, or vice versa. It's just hard to have a positive long-term relationship with a great outcome when you guys don't see eye to eye on major issues. Now, hear me out. It doesn't mean you agree all the time or that you're lockstep with everything. You just have to agree about the major things. Things that can get in the way, religious beliefs, political beliefs, family planning. Do you guys generally have the same short-term and long-term goals? Doesn't mean you'll always agree, but your foundation should be similar. The big things you should agree on. Like I said, it doesn't make you good, her bad, or vice versa if you don't share values. The problem is, it's not conducive to a great long-term relationship. Now, next up is what I believe is a huge red flag. Modern women or any woman. Is the woman you with making you feel bad about yourself? If so, she's not the right one. When you're in a relationship, whether it's you for her or her for you, she should make you feel better about yourself, motivate you, inspire you. She shouldn't be putting you down, always being sarcastic. Or does she make you feel like you can't be your true self? Does she make you feel like you have to be someone else? Do you have to walk on eggshells making sure you do everything right? That's a huge red flag. Yes, she should motivate, inspire you to be the best you can be. But the best you, not some other guy she imagines you should be. When you're with a woman, she should make you feel better, encouraged, motivated. No matter how beautiful she is, do you feel bad about yourself? Do you feel like you can't be you? That's a huge red flag. Now, next up is a trait I definitely want you to be on the lookout for. Are you with a woman who's clingy and emotionally needy? Here's the thing, there's a fine line sometimes in relationships. Yes, we do both need each other. It's good to need someone, but not be needy. Does she have a life outside of you? Does she have other hobbies, other interests? Does she spend time with other people, friends, family? That's important, both for you and her. You want to have a life outside of each other. It makes the relationship stronger. If she's clingy or emotionally needy, this will be very draining. After a while, you'll be mentally and emotionally exhausted. Yes, you should both want to spend a lot of time with each other, but not all your time. You both have to have a life outside the relationship. Like I mentioned, when you have a full individual life, it makes the relationship even stronger. So yes, you want a woman who loves to spend time with you, just not all of her time. It's a huge red flag if she's clingy or emotionally needy. Now here's the thing about red flags, in modern women or otherwise. If you see one or two, that might be okay. Nobody's perfect, not her or you. But if the woman you're dealing with has several of the red flags we mentioned in today's video, it might be an indication this modern woman isn't for you. Now, as always, I love to have your input. Let the Style O.G family know in the comment section what are some red flags you see in modern women I might have forgotten.